Hello everybody, it's Tilda here with another quick video. Today we're going to talk about GINA and some basic troubleshooting issues that you might run across. Um, so one of the first things that I want to relay to you guys is a lot of times when you're um, getting a big trigger push, or like recently we just deleted all our trigger set and pushed all new triggers. Sometimes GINA just doesn't behave, and one of the things that I would recommend is if you can get this trigger push and you can do a reboot. That's probably one of the best things you could do first off the bat if you're having issues with GINA. Is just reboot your machine, at least restart GINA, but the reboot seems to help great. Once we get into GINA, there's a few things we should check on. First of all, in-game, whoops, I didn't mean to do this. In-game, make sure that your log is on. So if you do a /log space on, that will turn your log on. You can see over here where it says EQ log text is now on. And then if we do a log interval 0, that's going to tell us that the log file is set to 0 seconds. So it's going to write to that log file immediately. Now, an important note here, if you're running antivirus on your computer, which most of us should be, we recommend that you make an exclusion for your EQ logs file. There's a directory under EverQuest. It's just called logs, and that's where your character log files are stored. We would advise you to exclude that from your virus scan. That seems to help a lot with performance issues. Once you make sure that you've got your logs enabled, if you're still having trouble, one of the first things you can do is come up here and go to Settings, and I'm sorry, you want to go to the character, and you want to say Edit. And you can see here where this is where you set your log file settings. So if I were to click this, I would be presented with an Explorer window so that I could go through and look at different log files. So in this case, like on my computer, my EverQuest installation is on a SSD drive on its own drive, and it's in EverQuest, and then my logs directory is logs. And you can see under here there's an EQ logs _tilde _vox. Select that guy and say open. That makes sure that that log file is what that's reading for this character. Now you'll notice when I click this guy, all these buttons or all these checkboxes showed up. By default, let me go ahead and close this and reopen GINA. By default, when you open GINA, you don't have those checkboxes. So if you just get a new trigger push, you're just going to see this. Now this is one of those things that I wish the developer would fix this in the UI because it's a little confusing. But simply clicking on this green box, we get these checkboxes. Now if you go through these, we recommend that everyone runs the common folder. This is pertinent to everybody. We also recommend that everyone runs the raids folder. This one is again pertinent and applies to everybody on a raid situation. Okay, and just a basic overview of the directories and the triggers, or categories, I should say, of the triggers we have in place right now. So we have a burns category that right now just has a few of the enchanter burns announced in it. We also have, this is also holding place for the shaman, third spire epic, and the bard epic. Eventually we'll add probably a lot more to this burn section as we develop out our ADPS processes. Again, this is not something that everybody needs to run. Probably mages and wizards should have that one running at all times. We do have classes and archetype, and right now that's more generalized, so it's just, and there's not a whole lot again in this. We have a basic one for casters for insufficient mana, clerics for their DIs. The melee have an out of endurance trigger, which you notice I have unchecked as an enchanter. And the tanks have my DI is fired, which is also lets them know in comms that they need a new DI, or else they can get on comms and let the clerics know they need a DI. The common triggers, again, this is one that probably everyone should run. This has things like the enchanters are mezzing, let you guys know that mezzes are going out. If you have a spell resist, if you're knocked down or ducking, this trigger will let you know that you're ducked, as well as giving invited to group raid, and the guild message of the day will pop up as a trigger. The leads folder is probably not one that everybody needs. I know the officers and raid leaders use this one quite a bit. It has things to let us know about attendance, who joined the raid, who left the raid. we have our crowd control under here for like who's breaking mezzas, that kind of thing, in case we need to fuss at somebody. The raids folder is really the meat and potatoes of all of this. This is the main reason we use GINA. And you can see right now in this recent trigger push, we just have Broken Mirror and a few of the raids that we've been doing. Now, as this expands out, we do Fear, we do other raids. We'll be adding trigger sets to this, other than the ones that are already in here as well. We'll probably make regular changes and additions to these as we kind of figure out the different strategies and, you know, kind of hone those and make them. Excuse my bird, guys. The last one is P&G rotations. This is where our classes have different types of spells or AAs that they need to keep up on a mob. A great one example here is Enchanters with their middle contortion rotation, Rangers with their Auspice, the Shadow Knights with their SK. Now, obviously, if you're a Ranger, Enchanter, Shadow Knight, you want to opt in on one of these. Anyway, that's about it for the overview. As more triggers become available, we'll make sure to give more descriptions, probably update this video without a screaming macaw in the background. I apologize, guys. Talk to you guys soon.